Jay Hansen, the chair of the Construction Industry Energy Board, calls this Construction Industry Energy Board meeting of June 13th, 2023 in order at 9 a.m., actually 9:35 a.m. Nathan, would you please call the roll?
Chair Jay Hansen.
Present virtually.
Vice Chair Thomas Kyle is excused. Gary Heikkinen.
Present.
Ryan Richards.
Here, virtually.
Blake Schlide.
Here.
Walt Cottle. Don't see him on yet, but he is scheduled to attend. John Camiller.
Here.
Matthew Roselle is excused. And Travis Argue.
Here, virtual.
Thank you. Chair, we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Nathan. I would like to rule that the agenda and order of business be approved unless there are any changes by staff or the board members. Hearing none, I rule it approved. Do any members have any changes to the draft meetings minutes? Going once? Going twice? Then I will rule the draft meeting minutes final, effective and final for the March 14th, 2023 CIEB meeting. The date of our next meeting will be October 17th, which will be exactly 13 days prior to my birthday. So I would like everyone to make note of that. Let's see. Next up, we've got Pierre to address the public comment items. And I don't know what those are. I don't see those on my help sheet.
Thank you, Chair. Pierre Sabah, Policy Analyst of the Division. As of this morning, we had not received any requests to give public comment to the board. We'll hold the line open for a few moments in case there's someone in the meeting that would like to provide public comment that hasn't already signed up.
Let's give that just a couple minutes. And while we're waiting, I will cue Mark Heizer to get ready.
2.5 inches of water. That's crazy.
Hearing none, Mr. Chair, I think we can move on.
We good?
We are good, Mr. Chair. There is no one here speaking.
Okay. All right. I just hear some talk in the background, so can't tell. Okay, Mark, you're up. What's been going on within the program?
Thank you, Chair Hansen. For the record, Mark Heizer with Division for a program update, starting with legislative and policy issues. The Division is continuing to monitor bills that are moving through the 2023 session. Expect an update of at the October meeting. We can come back on that. The Division is continuing to monitor what happened with a Ninth Circuit federal court ruling about utility bans. We're also following that the state of Washington has done a 120-day delay on the activation of their latest energy code, so following what's happening with their work groups as to make sure that our code is in alignment and not having issues with federal preemption. One other note is that there's still work going on, and under the IRA federal grants that are coming forward, there's about $1 billion, that's with a B, in grants and work money that will be going out for workforce development and updates of codes and the like. The division is following that and is providing support to other agencies if they are seeking some of these monies that could provide assistance to the state here. We're hoping that some of that can be brought here to the state. A few residential RMSB type updates, just letting people know that, of course, we are following housing and affordability, including some bills that are moving through the legislature. One item, of course, as we're looking at this, we have some items that we are bringing forward to the next Residential and Manufactured Structures Board meeting, looking, of course, following closely on affordability. Also looking at potentially some alternate methods, maybe even looking at the allowance for low-rise 1- and 2-family dwellings, the use of the IECC as an alternate path for some of our areas of the state that have neighboring contractors that use the IECC. We're looking at, given that air sealing and blower door testing is becoming a bigger part of codes, the division is looking at options on how to help provide testing services in underserved areas, working with some of our statewide services folks to maybe even be able to be trained on being able to do a blower door test for a home or commercial application as well. Finally, again, the division, we're trying to keep up with national codes and what is happening, working with organizations like ASHRAE and Standard 90.1, attending and following meetings on that, as well as continuing to follow changes to the 2024 International Energy Conservation Code, working with committees on those, and recently attending the annual Energy Code conference held by the U.S. Department of Energy to see what's happening locally and nationally. One other note is that in early October, the National Association of State and Energy Officials will be meeting here in Oregon, in Portland, and we'll be following what's happening there as well. And that's it for the code program update, if anyone has questions. Thank you.
Any questions for Mark? That was excellent, Mark. I appreciate you very much. No communications, no appeals, and no unfinished business that I can see on this agenda. We can move on to new business, and we'll have an informational piece regarding the publication of ASHRAE 90.1 and that process. And Pierre, could you inform us around that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Pierre Sabat, Policy Analyst with the Division. Back at our March meeting, we gave the board an informal notice about the ASHRAE 90.1 process, but I'm here today to kind of outline the official process regarding our Oregon Administrative Rule and ASHRAE 90.1. So Oregon Administrative Rule 918-008-0200 was adopted and became effective January 1st of 2023. The purpose of the rule was to have a predictable and consistent OEESC adoption process to meet the energy efficiency goals of the state based on a thoroughly vetted, federally recognized national model energy standard. Under this process, it starts with the publication of ASHRAE, which the 2022 standard was published on January 25th of 2023. Under this rule, the division is required to notify the board that within 180 days of publication. So this notice today satisfies the 180-day requirement. Moving forward, we will be bringing the OEESC to the board in October with the necessary amendments based on ASHRAE Standard 90.1 for the board's consideration. In addition to that, the division please invites the board for any feedback regarding the ASHRAE 90.1 new standard. And prior to this board meeting, we will be holding a RAC sometime, likely in September or early October, for any other feedback. And then if you look in your packet, you'll also see a timeline for the 2024 Oregon Energy Efficiency Specialty Code adoption. So that timeline will kind of give you another indication of how we are going through this adoption process. The rulemaking hearing will take place November 14th, 2023. Any written testimony will be taken up to November 17th, 2023, and then the anticipated adoptive date of the new process is January 1st, 2024, with a 6-month phase-in period. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Excellent. Thank you, Pierre. You got anything to discuss further on this, Mark?
Thank you, Chair Hansen. Yes, for the division, once again, Mark Heizer, to just give a little extra background on 90.1 and the OESC. When you look at 90.1 2022, in the forward, it will list the major, it's sort of a summary of the major changes, and it's divided up relative to the respective boards that are here. There will be sections on scope, envelope, changes to mechanical, changes to lighting, changes to power, and other, and actually notification of a new section or chapter to 90.1 2022. So this gives you a little extra feedback of where to look within the code itself to see changes and revisions. We are available to answer questions. The members of the SEB, as representing other boards, we're more than happy to try and help maybe translate some of the new language, because there's always something in there that, you know, may take a little bit of extra time to really understand what the scope changes are in the code. One of the big new items is, yes, a new section or chapter 11, which is really an additional measures, just points, options list, just like we have with our residential code. Each 10 points represents a approximate 1% change in efficiency of the buildings. It's a little different scope and concept in that it's divided up by building type. Different building types require different numbers of credits to be achieved, and it's also divided up by climate zone. So we are in climate zones 4C and 5B in Oregon. That's just an update on that. We will be looking at making sure that, yes, we are in alignment with, again, through the OESC document, that PDF file, about 4 pages currently, to bring in those administrative measures to get that alignment between 90.1 and the Oregon Structural Specialty Code, to make sure that the administrative language is in alignment with current Oregon statute, looking at those pertinent areas. So with that, that's we're continuing to follow to make sure that ComCheck is hopefully going to be out in time for this, and looking at the federal determination language work that will be done by the U.S. Department of Energy as time goes on. We'll hopefully be able to have an update at the next October meeting, and also going to be a lot of training and outreach that we're working on for this. So if there are any questions, that's general overview from the energy side.
Thank you, Mark. Are there any questions? Because I have one.
Yeah, I had my hand up too. This is Gary Heikkinen.
Go ahead.
Not everybody has access to 90.1, but I think they can find a read-only, is that right? Read-only copy on the ASHRAE website to 90.1, if somebody actually wants to look at it.
Through the chair, yes. Mark Heizer with the division. We have sent out links to the online version. It is available right now. We do have you would go through the same link to 90.1 2019 that we currently have on the division website. It's just looking at the current version, 90.1 2022. It is available right now, yes.
Perfect. Thanks, Mark.
Mark, I do not recall seeing that link. That doesn't mean I didn't get it, but I do not recall seeing that link. Is it on the division website, or where would I go find that?
Yes, the link is on the website, and I believe, Blake, did you just put up in the chat, the link just went up again as well, so.
I did, yes.
I don't.
All right.
I don't get the chat because I'm having to call in due to internet issues. Where on the website would I find that? Is it in code programs? Or?
Code programs, energy, commercial energy, yes.
I have
That's the
internet,
steps to
but
go
I
through.
don't have Zoom. Energy, so code programs, energy efficiency.
Energy efficiency, and then there's a choice there for residential energy efficiency versus commercial energy efficiency. Pick the commercial energy efficiency side.
Issue errata. Access to the online version of ASHRAE Standard 90.1-2019. Excellent. Thank you.
And just as an advice, because now that 90.1 2022 is the active version, you have to do a little bit of extra scrolling to find 90.1 2019, but to find 2022, it should be very early on the list.
I guess I don't find that list. I mean, I see, no. I see 2019. No, I'm not able to come up with 2022. Well, I'll dig around in here. But thank you. It is available through code programs. All right. So I heard that the board in our October meeting, we're going to receive updates from staff, or not updates, but amendments. We're going to receive the new 90.1 distilled down with the Oregon amendments and everything at our October meeting. But then there was going to be a rules meeting in November. Isn't that really a tight time frame? And this question's obviously directed to staff. Am I not understanding something correctly here?
Thank you, Chair Pierre Sabat with the division. Yeah, we will be coming to the board with the Oregon amendments based on ASHRAE 90.1 in October. The board will take action on that, and then the rule making hearing is scheduled for November 14th. So we should have plenty of time.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Is there any other business to come before this board at this time? Because I'm going to move to adjournment.
Maybe one more question, Gary Heikkinen.
Go ahead, Gary.
And again, through the chair, the process for amendments, is that, can anyone submit amendments to 90.1 2022? Or will that all be done by the division, only looking at certain administrative requirements of the state? If I wanted to submit an amendment, would I be able to do that or not?
Thank you. Through the chair, through the division, Mark Heizer. So the Oregon process always allows for proposals of amendments to codes, so it's general process. The new rules for the adoption of the commercial code is to intend to have limited amendments. The division will come through with pieces that are necessary for alignment with state statutes and Oregon-specific items. That will be what will be put forward. At the very start, there would always be the option for people will be able to put something in if they wish, but the starting point will be is to get the early adoption of the most advanced code as quick as possible. The rules were adopted, proposed for some time to make sure that, yes, it was not a code committing, but presenting a rulemaking. So there's always the option to put in an option you wish to, through the public process, always want to be able to put in a proposal to change the rules. But it will be really just the division portion will come through day one.
Great, thanks. Thanks for the reminder, Mark. That's what I would call. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Mark and Pierre, I'm going to note that in poking around on the division website, I cannot see ASHRAE 90.1 2022. I might ask for a little bit of help from Mark or Pierre in this regard to identify it, because it's not, no matter how much I scroll down and anything I click, I can't see 2022. My eye can't fall on it. So look for a little help in that regard. And if there are no other questions for the board, I'm going to move to adjournment.
Through the chair, real quick, just so that there's a title when you get to standards and guidelines. There's a preview ASHRAE standards and guidelines section. That will have the most up-to-date ones. So sometimes, yes, it is there, but yes, it's sometimes there. It's not the best website. Unfortunately, we cannot provide a direct link. We've really tried to work with ASHRAE on that, but there's no way to get a direct link to open straight to that one piece. So thank you for that interruption, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I guess I'm trying to find standards and guidelines then. Board's code programs.
I'll give you a call after this, Jay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's fine. I appreciate it much. So I'm going to adjourn the January 13th, 2023 Construction Industry Energy Board meeting at this time, which is 9:57 a.m. by my clock on the 13th of June, 2023. Thank you all very much. I appreciate your time.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
Dave.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Goodbye.